Have you ever thought about whether masturbation might quietly affect your health as you get older? As we age, taking care of ourselves becomes increasingly important, and certain activities that seemed harmless when younger might carry unexpected risks later on. If you're over 65, you may be unaware that one habit, often dismissed as safe and natural, could actually pose significant risks to your health. In this video, we'll explore the surprising effects of a topic that's rarely openly discussed: how frequent masturbation beyond age 65 can have unintended impacts on your overall health and physical condition. While masturbation is completely natural, recent conversations among healthcare providers suggest it can, in some instances, lead to physical and emotional health issues many seniors experience without recognizing their source. Stay tuned until the end, because what you'll discover today could change your perspective on your well-being. We'll take a closer look at how this habit influences your heart, nervous system, and cognitive abilities, particularly how it subtly affects your energy, emotional stability, and even long-term heart health. By the conclusion of this video, you'll clearly understand what's truly happening inside your body, enabling you to make wiser health decisions. Before we jump in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and hit the bell to ensure you don't miss future videos. If you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I can create better content for you. Now let's begin. 1. Hidden strain on your cardiovascular health. One often underestimated risk of frequent masturbation after age 65 involves its potential impact on your heart and overall cardiovascular system. While you might not think this activity relates directly to heart health, any action that raises your heart rate and blood pressure, especially in brief, intense bursts, can unexpectedly stress an aging cardiovascular system. Younger people, whose arteries remain strong and elastic, might not need to worry, but older adults, whose blood vessels naturally stiffen over time, can experience irregular heartbeats, dizziness, or increased risk of cardiac events from sudden elevations in heart rate. Think about the last time you engaged in mild physical activity, such as climbing stairs or carrying bags from the store. You likely felt your heart beating faster, breathing becoming heavier, and perhaps even a slight fatigue. Now picture your body experiencing that same intense physical reaction during a brief yet vigorous activity, except you're not expecting or prepared for it. Your heart rate spike is sharper than you'd anticipate because your body didn't gradually warm up as it would during intentional exercise. This unexpected cardiovascular stress explains why some older adults report dizziness, exhaustion, or irregular heart rhythms afterward. Consider William, a retired engineer aged 72, who always believed he was fairly healthy, carefully managing his diet and staying physically active. But he began noticing that after certain private activities, he experienced strange chest tightness and increased breathlessness. Initially, William dismissed these sensations, but after one particularly concerning episode, he brought it up with his doctor during a regular visit. Surprisingly, his physician told him these symptoms weren't unusual for men his age, particularly those with previous issues like high blood pressure or mild heart conditions. Although William wasn't instructed to completely stop, his doctor recommended he closely listen to his body's reactions and avoid pushing himself beyond what his heart could safely handle. Remember, this isn't meant to cause alarm. It's about being informed. Many seniors don't realize how differently their bodies respond to this activity as they age. With advancing years, recovery after exertion becomes slower. Heart muscles and blood vessels no longer bounce back quickly. Unexpected bursts of physical effort without preparation might be more demanding than anticipated. Occasional activity isn't inherently risky, but regularly engaging in prolonged or intense sessions could silently strain your cardiovascular system as you age. If you've ever experienced sudden fatigue, dizziness, or slight chest discomfort after this habit, it's important to listen carefully. Your body sends clear signals, and noticing these warnings could be vital in protecting your heart from unnecessary stress. Number 2, nervous system exhaustion and energy loss. Another unexpected side effect, rarely discussed, is that frequent masturbation can exhaust the nervous system, causing you to feel drained, lethargic, and mentally unclear. The human body depends on a precise balance of energy, hormones, and nerve impulses to perform at its best, and this balance becomes increasingly delicate with age. While this activity may seem like immediate stress relief, it could actually be contributing to chronic tiredness, making you feel consistently fatigued throughout the day without understanding the cause. Think of your nervous system like a battery. Every physical action, emotional response, or mental task uses energy stored in this battery. In younger days, this battery recharged quickly, easily coping with higher stimulation levels. But as you grow older, recharging slows down significantly. What once served as a simple form of relaxation now taxes your nervous system, causing extended periods of tiredness, sluggish feelings, or difficulty maintaining concentration. Take the example of Richard, a 69-year-old retired teacher. Richard began noticing persistent exhaustion during the day, struggling especially with low energy in the mornings, and often needing multiple naps just to get through his daily routine. Initially, he assumed this fatigue was just a normal part of aging. However, after reducing certain habits for several weeks, he was surprised to discover noticeable improvements in his energy. Richard felt more awake, sharper mentally, and even noticed enhanced sleep quality. The connection became clear. Overusing specific bodily systems can cause significant depletion, and recognizing this allowed Richard to make lifestyle changes that greatly improved his overall health. The main reason behind this involves neurotransmitters, the tiny chemical messengers in your brain responsible for managing mood, energy, and motivation. Activities that trigger dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, might feel rewarding initially, but constant overstimulation can result in dopamine burnout. Dopamine burnout means your brain becomes less responsive to pleasure, eventually causing lethargy, decreased motivation, and mild depression-like symptoms. Younger brains easily recover from such fluctuations, but recovery becomes slower with age, making older adults engaging in this habit frequently feel increasingly sluggish. This doesn't mean you need to stop entirely. Rather, it's about recognizing your body's evolving limitations and making mindful choices that preserve energy rather than deplete it. If you've ever noticed unusual tiredness, decreased motivation, or trouble concentrating without a clear reason, reflect on whether this habit might contribute to these symptoms. Adjusting your frequency and noticing your body's reactions can significantly enhance your daily energy. If you're still watching this video and find this information valuable, please comment number 2 below so I know you're here with me. Your feedback helps me continue sharing insights that truly matter. Number 3, disrupted sleep and increased restlessness. A frequently ignored consequence of regular masturbation among older adults is the negative effect it has on sleep quality. Many assume that this habit before bedtime will help them unwind and fall asleep quicker. Although that might have been accurate when younger, this reality shifts as we age. Instead of promoting restful sleep, it might actually lead to nighttime disturbances, frequent awakenings, and a lingering sense of tiredness the following morning. Sleep is a fragile process governed by an intricate balance involving hormones, brain signals, and nervous system controls. Melatonin plays a central role here. This hormone signals your body that it's time to relax and sleep. However, certain activities that increase dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, can disrupt melatonin release, making it difficult to enter restful sleep. That's why some individuals feel calm initially, but later struggle with restless sleep. Take Gerald, a 74-year-old retiree who always took pride in rising early. Yet in recent years, he noticed an irritating trend. He would easily drift off, but then repeatedly awaken at night. Despite numerous tweaks to his nighttime habits, he couldn't avoid feeling groggy each morning. Only after discovering the relationship between dopamine and melatonin did he identify the issue. By slightly altering his pre-sleep routine, Gerald started experiencing better sleep and woke refreshed instead of weary. Another overlooked problem is how this habit may trigger excessive nervous system activity before bedtime. Many older adults already deal with restless leg syndrome, muscle cramps, or disrupted sleep as they age. Overstimulation of the nervous system, particularly late in the day, hampers full relaxation, resulting in lighter, broken sleep instead of the deep rest essential for optimal health. This matters because inadequate sleep doesn't just cause next-day tiredness, it cumulatively harms overall wellness. Research shows chronic sleep issues in seniors correlate with increased inflammation, higher risk of memory loss, and weakened immunity. Without sufficient deep sleep, the body can't repair effectively, making it difficult to maintain cognitive clarity, physical resilience, and emotional stability. If you're regularly tired upon waking, experiencing restless nights, or sensing persistent fatigue, consider whether this habit contributes. Simple adjustments in timing or frequency could significantly enhance sleep quality and bodily recovery. Number 4. Increased risk of prostate irritation and urinary issues. One of the most potential impact on prostate health. Many men assume that regular activity in this area keeps things functioning smoothly, but as we age, the body reacts differently. For some, overuse may cause greater prostate sensitivity, mild inflammation, and even elevated risks of urinary discomfort that weren't problems in younger years. Prostate enlargement, or benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, naturally occurs with aging. This growth can press on the bladder, complicating complete emptying and prompting frequent nighttime bathroom visits. When overstimulated, surrounding prostate tissues and muscles can become irritated, intensifying sensations of urgency. Some men notice temporary tightness, weaker urine flow, or mild discomfort afterward. Though usually not alarming, these signs deserve attention, particularly if they begin affecting daily life. Consider Leonard, a 71-year-old former construction worker. Leonard never faced serious urinary trouble previously, but started waking frequently to urinate at night, initially dismissing it as an aging issue. However, after consulting his physician, he realized frequent prostate stimulation sometimes aggravates symptoms by briefly increasing inflammation and sensitivity. His doctor suggested reducing such activity temporarily, and within weeks, Leonard experienced fewer nightly bathroom trips and significantly greater comfort. Another often neglected factor is the effect that frequent stimulation can have on the pelvic floor muscles. These muscles are essential for bladder control, but naturally weaken as we age. Excessive stimulation can fatigue them, causing occasional leakage, sudden urgency, or reduced bladder control. Although these signs might initially go unnoticed, they can gradually impair urinary function. This is particularly important for men already experiencing mild urinary issues. If you're noticing increased urgency, occasional dribbling, or difficulty fully emptying your bladder, frequent stimulation may be a contributing factor. Small adjustments, like reducing frequency or doing pelvic floor exercises, can significantly improve your urinary health and ease strain on your prostate. If any of this resonates with you, it's worthwhile to listen closely to your body. Your comfort and overall wellness matter, and simple changes can have substantial benefits. If you're still watching and finding value in this video, please comment number 4 below so I know you're engaged. Your feedback allows me to continue offering useful information to support your health and quality of life. Number 5. Hormonal imbalance in mood swings. Another surprising consequence of frequent masturbation after age 65 involves hormone balance and overall mood. Many individuals don't realize that this habit influences the release of hormones that regulate energy, emotional stability, and cognitive functioning. Although it might temporarily relieve stress, frequent engagement can trigger subtle, yet impactful hormonal shifts. resulting in emotional instability, irritability, or mild sadness afterward. Hormones such as testosterone, dopamine, and oxytocin strongly influence daily emotions. Engaging in this activity provides a brief surge of dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure and drive. However, excessive repetition can lead to dopamine depletion, diminishing your brain's responsiveness to this vital chemical. Over time, everyday activities might feel less rewarding, fueling a cycle where increasingly more stimulation becomes necessary to achieve the same satisfaction. Some men report feeling unmotivated, easily irritated, or mildly depressed without knowing the cause. Consider Edward, a 68-year-old retired accountant who was previously known for his calm, upbeat personality. Yet, over the past year, he experienced unexplained mood fluctuations. One day energized and sharp, the next sluggish and easily annoyed. It wasn't until he examined his routine habits more closely that he discovered the link. By spacing out his activities, his mood stabilized, his energy levels balanced, and emotional dips became far less frequent. Another crucial factor is testosterone regulation. While younger men naturally produce abundant testosterone, levels decline with age. Frequent stimulation may temporarily lower testosterone, contributing to fatigue, reduced motivation, and subtle loss of muscle tone. Research also suggests that excessive release of hormones like prolactin may further suppress testosterone, leaving men feeling drained and prone to emotional volatility. This doesn't mean all activity is harmful, quite the opposite, but moderation is essential. If you feel emotionally unsettled, lack motivation, or notice changes in mood, hormone fluctuations might be a factor. Allowing your body more recovery time between stimulation can rebalance hormone levels, restoring stable energy and emotional wellness. If you've experienced unexplained mood swings, you're certainly not alone. Many older adults encounter these shifts without realizing the root cause. Simple adjustments can profoundly enhance your daily well-being. Number 6, reduce sensitivity and diminish pleasure over time. One of the lesser discussed impacts of frequent masturbation after age 65 is its potential to slowly reduce sensitivity, making it increasingly challenging to achieve the same degree of pleasure as before. Many individuals believe this habit is entirely positive, assisting with circulation and overall functioning. However, what's often overlooked is that excessive stimulation, especially when it becomes a regular or frequent habit, can lead to desensitization, meaning the body doesn't respond as intensely as it once did. The human nervous system naturally adapts to repetitive stimuli. When exposed frequently to the same type of sensation, nerve receptors gradually become less responsive, requiring more intense or prolonged stimulation to deliver the same result. This explains why some seniors find sensations they once enjoyed less intense, or notice it requires more effort and time to achieve comparable satisfaction. Sometimes, this leads to frustration because what once felt effortless now demands greater focus and effort. Consider Robert, a 73-year-old retired musician. Robert always enjoyed staying active and saw no harm in continuing certain habits from his younger days. Gradually, however, he experienced a subtle yet undeniable change. Sensations once easy to achieve now took longer, feeling less rewarding. Initially, he blamed it on aging, but after hearing similar stories from others, he realized excessive stimulation had contributed significantly. After adjusting his routine to give his body additional recovery time between sessions, he experienced improved sensitivity, restoring enjoyment and a more natural feeling. Another factor involved is nerve fatigue. Like other body parts, nerve endings responsible for sensation can become overstimulated from frequent repetitive activity, resulting in diminished responsiveness and weaker sensations. Additionally, frequent brief dopamine surges may alter the brain's pleasure processing, reducing excitement or anticipation in other areas of daily life. Thankfully, this process is often reversible. Allowing the body adequate recovery periods between episodes of stimulation helps many regain natural sensitivity over time. This doesn't mean stopping completely, but rather maintaining a balanced approach to ensure experiences stay enjoyable instead of becoming a source of frustration. If you've noticed, experiences don't feel as rewarding or require increased effort, you're not alone. Many individuals encounter this shift without fully understanding why, yet small adjustments often yield significant improvements. If you're still watching this video and find this information helpful, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. Your interaction enables me to continue creating content aimed at supporting your overall well-being. Number 7, heightened feelings of loneliness and emotional disconnection. An often ignored result of frequent masturbation among older adults involves its possible effect on emotional health and social relationships. While this practice might seem like a harmless stress reliever or pastime, overdependence on it may sometimes foster isolation, loneliness, and emotional distance from meaningful relationships. Humans are naturally inclined toward connection. Emotional intimacy, physical closeness, and meaningful interactions are essential for overall happiness and mental well-being. When masturbation becomes a primary source of comfort or stress relief, it can subtly diminish the drive for genuine social engagement. Over time, this habit may enhance feelings of disconnection, making real social interactions appear less satisfying or even unnecessary. Consider James, a 75-year-old widower. After the loss of his wife, James increasingly spent his days alone, filling his time with routines that brought familiarity and comfort. Over time, he began noticing that he wasn't reaching out to friends as frequently. Even when he did connect, social interactions felt more like a duty than something he genuinely enjoyed. Initially, he didn't see the connection clearly, but eventually realized his habit of seeking comfort in solitary activities was quietly reinforcing his sense of isolation. Once he intentionally started balancing his personal time with more social activities, like joining local clubs, attending neighborhood gatherings, or reconnecting with old acquaintances, he noticed his overall mood lifted and feelings of loneliness became far less intense. This kind of emotional withdrawal doesn't develop instantly. It's a subtle progression that often goes unnoticed until isolation becomes more obvious. Our brains form habits based on reward patterns, and when quick comfort is easily accessible, it can gradually replace our drive to pursue deeper, more meaningful interactions with others. That's partly why some older adults find themselves spending increasing amounts of time alone without realizing certain behaviors might be reinforcing that pattern. There's also a psychological dimension to consider: meaningful interactions with others, whether through conversation, shared activities, or even simple gestures like a handshake or hug, prompt the release of oxytocin, a hormone linked to bonding and emotional closeness. When social interactions diminish, oxytocin levels can fall, heightening feelings of loneliness or mild depression. If you've ever felt more isolated than you'd prefer, or if socializing no longer feels as fulfilling as it once did, it's worth reflecting on how your daily habits might contribute to those emotions. Small changes, like reserving specific time for social activities, reaching out to old contacts, or engaging in hobbies that foster human connection, can help rebuild a sense of fulfillment. If this resonates, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Social interaction remains one of the strongest tools for emotional wellness as we age, and even minor adjustments can have lasting effects. Number 8, increased risk of pelvic floor weakening and bladder control problems. One of the lesser-known outcomes of frequent masturbation among seniors is its possible impact on pelvic muscle strength and bladder control. Though many associate pelvic health primarily with younger individuals or those recovering from health issues, the reality is that with aging, the muscles supporting the bladder, prostate, and lower abdomen naturally lose strength. Over time, repetitive strain in this region, especially if frequent or overly vigorous, can lead to pelvic muscle fatigue, causing subtle yet irritating bladder changes. The pelvic muscles play a vital role in maintaining bladder control, supporting internal organs, and providing stability to the lower torso. When these muscles weaken, individuals might experience greater urgency, occasional leakage, or difficulty fully emptying their bladder. Many seniors mistakenly believe these symptoms are simply an unavoidable part of getting older, unintentionally worsening the issue. Take Harold, for instance, a 70-year-old retired mechanic. Harold had always maintained good health, but began noticing he needed more frequent bathroom visits, especially during nighttime. He also experienced occasional loss of control when laughing or sneezing, which was entirely new to him. After looking into the relationship between pelvic health and frequent stimulation, he decided to cut back and introduced basic pelvic floor exercises into his daily routine. Within a few weeks, he observed noticeable improvement, less urgency, and better overall control during the day. This problem is more common than most people recognize. Overusing pelvic muscles without sufficient recovery can lead to fatigue, much like overworking any other muscle group. Just as exercising arms or legs excessively without rest can cause soreness or loss of strength, repetitive strain on the pelvic area can result in temporary tightness, discomfort, or diminished control. Another key factor involves nerve sensitivity. The nerves within the pelvic region significantly affect bladder function. When overstimulated, these nerves may send confusing signals to the brain, triggering false urgency or causing unpredictable bladder responses. That's why some folks might find themselves waking up more frequently at night to use the restroom, even without increasing their overall fluid consumption. Fortunately, these concerns are usually manageable through minor lifestyle tweaks. Cutting back on frequency, adding basic pelvic floor exercises, and noticing your body's reactions can help regain control and lessen extra stress on these essential muscles. If you've experienced surprising shifts in bladder habits, more urgency, or occasional leaks, it could help to look into how daily routines affect your pelvic muscle strength. Even modest adjustments can noticeably enhance your comfort and confidence. If you're still watching and finding this information helpful, please comment number 8 below so I know you're here. Your interaction helps me continue producing content aimed at improving your health. Final thoughts. As we conclude this video, pause to reflect briefly on all we've discussed. Many habits that appear harmless when we're young may unexpectedly impact us as we grow older, masturbation included. From effects on heart health and nervous system exhaustion to its influence on hormone regulation, sleep patterns, and pelvic muscle strength, it becomes clear moderation and awareness matter. The intention isn't to provoke undue anxiety, but rather to offer useful knowledge to help you make informed health choices. A key point to remember is that your body always sends signals. If you've seen changes in your energy, mood, bladder control, or even overall fulfillment, observing your behaviors closely might reveal previously unnoticed patterns. Small changes like cutting back frequency, enhancing sleep habits, hygiene, or increasing social interaction can significantly influence your daily well-being. The encouraging part is many of these changes are reversible. By paying closer attention to your body's requirements, you can sustain vitality and confidence as you age. Now, I'd love your feedback. Which insights stood out most strongly to you? Have you observed any of these changes personally or have related experiences you'd like to share? Your input matters, and this community is here to learn from each other. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love your thoughts. Please comment below, sharing one insight you've gained and how you intend to apply it in your daily life. Your reflections matter greatly, so please share openly. Reading your comments brings us motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed and benefited from this video, remember to like, subscribe, and share it. Your continued support allows us to keep providing valuable content that educates and motivates. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.